All right. I'm back again with another live stream. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Hopefully, y'all are all having a good day today. And let me know about my volume. If my volume is sounding too loud, because last week, after I checked back, how you doing, Gabe Quarterman? How's the volume? Is it loud? Last week, it was kind of loud. And nobody didn't say anything about it being too loud. So just let me see if I can turn it down. So, let me see. Okay, is that any better? Is the volume any better? Because I don't want to be yelling at y'all. How you doing, Blue Division? How you doing, Scooby-Doo? What's up, Antonio? Okay. The Scooby-Doo, do I need to take it down a little bit more, or is that good? Okay, all right. Now I know where to put it at. So, what do everybody have going on today? Just chilling. What are y'all doing today? Antonio working on a Sunday. No breaks. Hey, Antonio, are you related to Steph Curry? Yeah, I don't have a lot going on today. Just kind of, I guess, hanging out, chilling, getting ready to go shoot some ball like I do pretty much every Sunday. How you doing, Charles? What's going on, Miss Tori 76? Scooby-Doo, what type of ink are you using? I haven't had that happen to me. I don't know. You're using plastisol ink, right? Um, Antonio, I started out with the first press that I started out with was actually a tabletop one color press, but I did start out after that with the silver press by Roundnet, and it's actually a 4-to-1 color press. That's not a bad idea. The press that they have now is basically the silver press, but they have painted it in a different color, which is green, and they sell it for a little bit more. How you doing, Lou Richards? But what I would recommend is the best thing would be to go on Amazon, but you can also go on eBay, and I would find a press that's similar to that if you're just looking for a starter type press. And if you want to like send me, contact me on Instagram, I can look at some of the stuff like I've done for a few other people, and kind of let you know what I think about it. Because some of the presses, when they have like the little round thing on there that it's like two little round things. I can't think of what they're called right now, but when you tighten the screens up, it'll hold the screen down. You want to find one that has a straight bar going across instead of those two individual things, and it'll help hold your registration better. As far as that, that's the only thing I could tell you. I mean, if you have the money to get the press from Roundnet, I would say go for that, but they are basically selling the same press for a higher price pretty much. And I know when you're first starting out, you trying to, first off, you want to know that you want to make sure you're going to like this before you spend a lot of money into it, and make sure this is something you're going to do. Yeah, that you can probably find a few on eBay, but when you look at them, try to look for that bar that's going straight across, because if you don't have that bar, sometimes the registration is not going to hold as well. If if you have the bar, if you're doing like multicolor prints or something where you have to do more than one print, like printing on dark colors. How you doing, Smooth Girl? What's up, Paula Chambers? My Instagram name is TshirtChick TV. It's the same as, as on my YouTube, but just put TV at the end of it. I tried to get TshirtChick. I set up that account, and it was telling me that I was suspended for doing something. I don't know, because I had never had an Instagram account before that, but that was the only thing as close to, TshirtChick as I could get. TshirtChick TV. And let me see. Antonio, what are you printing today? Let me try to get some of that light out so that it won't be so bright. Okay, labels. How you doing, Maggie? Oh, I'm sorry, Margie. Margie at Affordable Photo Shoot. How you doing? And you said you're curing water-based paint with my heat breast, and how long should you cure it? Around 30 seconds or so should be fine. That should cure it for you. But you'll be able to see the water evaporating out of it usually when you cure it, so you will know that it's cured. And that's if you need it to be at the correct temperature to cure. And it's been a while since I've used water-based, so I will have to look up and make sure. But for plastisol ink, it's 320 degrees. And it may be the same for water-based ink. To be honest with you, I haven't used water-based ink in so long, I can't be 100% sure. But about 30 seconds should cure it for you. Yeah, they like that. I use I haven't done foil transfers. I haven't done foil printing with the foil or whatever, screen printing with the foil, but I have done like the metallic transfers, and they really like that a lot. Okay, who is this? Lou Richard says, has anyone ever printed water bottle labels? And if so, what did you charge? I have an order for 1,000. What type of water bottle labels are you talking about? You're talking about, dang it, this is my brother calling me. Let me get this right quick. Hello? Hello? I don't know what's going on. He's calling me again. Hello? Hello? Let me call him. Maybe he's accidentally calling me. I don't know. He sometimes get in stuff he don't need to be involved in. Let me check this out and see what the problem is. You said they're the Sam's Club water bottles. Like you changing the labels on them. I've done some for a wedding before, but it was for a friend, so I didn't really charge anything for it. If you're talking about like a water bottle like this, I've removed the labels off, and I don't know, I guess my brother accidentally called me, but I've removed like the labels off right here and replaced it. You can laminate it so that it doesn't mess up in the water, but I printed those before for someone with a, they was having a wedding, a friend of mine, so I actually didn't even charge for them. Margie's Affordable Photo Shoot says, can you cure, you're welcome by the way, can you cure plastisol ink with a heat press? You can, but the thing with the plastisol ink is you have to make sure that it's pretty dry. And when you cure plastisol ink with a heat press, it's going to be a little bit glossy. I dropped that water bottle label. I have to remember to get it when I get finished because it's up under the table now. But you can cure it, but it just kind of makes it a little bit glossy. But you know what? Probably if you put some what do you call it, parchment paper over it, it won't be so glossy. Okay. Yeah, can anybody help out Lou? She's trying to see about how much she should be charging to put labels on water bottles. How you doing, Teresa? So I don't know if a lot of y'all was able to tune in on Friday when I did that surprise, the little surprise lunchtime live stream. If y'all like that, you know, if I'm not real busy sometimes, I might try to do some live streams. Like during the week, probably short ones. It probably won't be as long as that one was that day, but I may try to do a few of them. Okay, I guess as far as printing the labels, you can kind of go by, see about how much material you'll be using. And, you know, I would at least try to double my price, you know, get back the money that I use for the materials plus whatever time that you're putting into it. Smooth Girl says, I want to know about copyrighting your t-shirts. If I create a design, are others allowed to use your design? If you copyright it or trademark it, they shouldn't be. But I don't actually have a clothing line, so I haven't really got into that yet. But pretty much, you know, unless it's like something that I guess pertains specifically to your business or, you know, your designs or whatever, people can take that same design and just kind of recreate it unless you have like trademarked whatever the saying is or whatever. You know, you can't copy somebody's exact thing, but just like you see with cars, you know, when they made the first car, people came behind them and made a different car. They all pretty much do the same thing, but the people made them different. So you can't really just stop people from doing, you know, I guess taking your names or whatever you have on your shirt unless it's copyrighted or trademarked. And to be honest with you, I don't know a lot about that. I haven't done a clothing line or anything like that. All right, Lou. Scooby-Doo says, I've seen them done for 49 cents each. So that may be a price for you right there. The Painting with Magic Show says, where do I buy my supplies? Right now, I buy them from a few random places. I buy most of my ink and stuff like that, plastisol ink and all the chemicals I use from MacB Supply. And I have purchased from Coastal Business. I don't really deal with them anymore. I have purchased from Stalls and I have purchased from eBay. And like if it's something, like if somebody come in here and they want something done and it's a color vinyl that I don't have, I will go on Amazon and, you know, purchase it from there because I have Prime and some other places that I order from don't get it here as quick, you know, and so I'll go on Amazon sometimes. And then like if it's something like if you're starting out, you know, I have did a few videos showing you some starter packages. Like if you're just starting out and you don't really know what colors or, you know, what all you're going to be printing, then you can go on there and get like a little starter pack. And, you know, it comes with like a lot of different colors. But that's pretty much it. But I have had a couple of people contact me. So I'm going to kind of see how, you know, a couple of businesses like a supply company and a t-shirt company. So I'm going to kind of see how things are with them. And if I like everything, then I will probably be dealing with them. And I will be able to offer you guys discount coupon codes and stuff like that for some of the people. But, you know, some of this stuff is kind of still in the works. I have to, you know, speak with them. They contacted me and I have messaged back and stuff like that. So we shall see who my new company is going to be, if I will have a new company. Okay, Lou says, I'm printing them on a BN20. I'm using a 20 a 20-inch roll of removable vinyl. I looked at a few places and they seem to charge 11 cents per label. If 11 cents per label is going, if that's going to do what you need and get you your money back, then you could charge that, or you could charge a little bit more. It, with the pricing, it kind of depends on you, because it's some people, just like with t-shirts and anything, some things cost more. It just depends on, it depends on you and your quality of work and how much you put into it, and the materials that it costs you. So you maybe with that 11 cents and the 49 cents that Scooby-Doo posted up, up above, maybe you can come up with something in between that. But as long as you're making a profit off of it, and it's worth your time, then whatever price, as long as it's okay with you, I feel like will be an all right price. All right, Maggie said that she liked the lunchtime live stream. I may do a few more of those when I'm not real busy. Yeah, because I was out of the shop all last week, except for on Friday, and then I ended up working on Saturday also. Well, you know what? You could, if you think, if 11 cents you can make a profit off of that, maybe you could say 20 cents or something. I'm not real sure. It depends on your materials. Now, you have to see if you make sure you're making something off of that. Maggie said her emulsion didn't wash off her screen, and it's a faint shadow of the image on the screen. Can I still use the screen? Yes, you can. A lot of my screens, they call it ghosting. A lot of my screens have that because sometimes I'm lazy and I don't clean them up right away. So sometimes you have that, but you can get a dehazer that can remove that out of there if if you want a 100% clean screen, or if that bothers you or anything. But you can print with that, and I haven't had any issues. What's up, Jason? I have used international coatings before. I think that's who. Yeah, I have used international coatings before, Scooby-Doo. When I used to order from Ryanette, but right now the only the ink that I prefer to use is the Ulano, Union ink, and I use the Ulano emulsion or whatever. But I have used them in the past, and their ink was okay. I just didn't really like the place I order from now, Magby Supply. If I order it tomorrow, it'll be here on Tuesday. So that I kind of like being able to get stuff quick. And around that, sometimes it'll be a few days, and I'm not understanding how, if they're in Arkansas and I'm in Louisiana, how it take them so long to get it to me. Because I'm right there on the edge, next to Texas, so. Antonio says I use Pro World for my vinyls. It ships fast for me because I'm near New Jersey. And see, Pro World might not ship so fast for me unless they have different locations. And that's the thing with some of the companies. They have different locations in different areas. So, when they have the different locations like that, they can get the products to the customers quicker. Let me see. How you doing, Tease Your Way? What's up, David? Vitivsky. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce your last name. I probably butchered it. But no, I do not have Skype. Maybe that's something I need to look into. I can try looking into it. Antonio Curry says, do I have staff? I don't have staff. I do everything myself. I have my son that's been helping me out a lot this summer. And when I get really swamped, then I have, family members and a couple of friends that I can get to help, or friends' kids, shall I say, that I get to help. But I live in a small town, so it's I'm not gonna be a billionaire staying in this town, making t-shirts. I mean, I this is all I do, so I'm making a fairly decent income. But it's if I was in a bigger area, I would probably have to have people in here all the time. Thanks, Smooth Girl. I appreciate you watching, and I'm glad to help you. How you doing, Reezy? Yeah, Jason, a lot of that stuff look nice. They just, some of that stuff is kind of pricey to me. But I actually haven't really looked at it. I know that's their electric, what do you call it? Automatic press. That's their automatic press. I haven't really looked into it, but it does look nice. David asked, how much do I charge for the shirt? For just a regular t-shirt? If they just want like one simple print, I will charge $15 to $20 depending on what the starting price, and it can go up from there. Like if they just want a little something, I might charge $15, and that's just going to be on my basic, like the cheapest shirt. How you doing, Jason? Okay. Okay. Union, Willflex, and Rutland. Jason loves Union, Willflex, and Rutland. Yeah, I use the Rutland white ink, but everything else is Union. Antonio Curry says, how can I keep my design for a regular customer? When you get done with the screen, you just make sure that you clean it up really good, and you can probably keep it for years. The screens, as long as you are not like washing them out all the time and putting a lot of chemicals on them, they'll pretty much last. But I know I have an uncle that's a carpenter, and I'm pretty sure it's for him every now and then. And I have kept his screen for over a year now. And he had one design, and he ended up changing it, but I've kept it for over a year. So I'm gonna say you can keep it for years, and I haven't had any issues with it. Antonio is in the MD, Maryland. Yeah, Scooby-Doo, that's always convenient when you can drive to pick it up, but I don't have any local places. I have to order everything online. David, you said, can I answer you? You asked the question about how much I charge for a t-shirt. I did answer it. Maybe you didn't get it until then. I mean, maybe you typed this before I answered you. And then, like, my pricing may not be the same as yours. It depends on where you're located. And if you're a business and you have your resale ID, resale license or whatever, then you can get the shirts for a cheaper price. It just depends. Some people charge less than I do. Some people charge more than I do. So I can't really tell you what to charge, and depending on where you're located. But the best way to come up with pricing is to see what people are charging in your area, and then you can take all the materials and the shirt, because depending on what shirt they want, some people might not want the gilded shirt, or some people might want like a women's fitted shirt or whatever. So you're pretty much gonna have to figure up your own price, and I can't tell you you should just charge a certain price. Let me see. Kingston said, when I started, did I have a lot of moolah? No, I did not. I purchased things little by little. The first thing I purchased was the heat press, and I used to do like transfers, like just print out transfer paper from Walmart. And then I got the vinyl cutter. And then once I started getting bigger orders, I ended up getting like a one color tabletop press on tabletop clamp on press from Roundnet. Then I moved up to the silver press, and now I have the Vastec V1000. So no, I didn't, and I kind of went little by little. But once you get started, everything will pay for itself several times. David says, how much you many of a shirt? I am not sure what you asking. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're asking. Depending on how many shirts, maybe this is kind of what you're asking. But the more shirts they order, I offer a discount. So if they order one shirt, it's going to cost more than if they offer 100 shirts. So, you know, you kind of base it on that. Kingston, I don't print on socks. I don't, that's the, doggone it. I don't know. Sometimes when I come here on Sundays, it's like my brain is just not working. But that is the, ugh. Can somebody help me with the word I'm looking for? The kind of printing when you print on socks and like polyester, 100% polyester. I can't even think of what it's called right now. Sublimation printing. Yeah, that's sublimation printing. So I actually don't do the sublimation printing. And it may be some people on here that can answer your questions and help you. If y'all can kind of help him know a little bit about that, or if y'all know somebody that may post videos about sublimation printing, maybe y'all can list it and help out Kingston a little bit. Antonio said, does the business own me? I have set up in my house, and I work in a shop and watch my boss wear himself out. And if I want to go on vacation, I want to get able to without being fined for it or not. I don't know. You must have meant, do I own the business? Yes, I own the business, and whenever I want to take off, I can. But the thing with that is, because it's me and I'm pretty much the only one running it. I mean, I have family members that help, you know, when I need them. But if I take off for a week or a month or whatever, then I just don't make no money during that time. So I don't take off a lot. Only if, you know, if I feel like I need to take off, I'll take off. Or if I have something planned to do, you know, or something with family or whatever, I'll take off. But yeah, I do own the business, and I try not to wear myself out too much. Tease Your Way says 15 for front, 5 more for the back, $2 each for sleeves. And yeah, some, you know, depending on that too, because like with the glitter vinyl, the price will be starting at $20, you know, depending on what type of printing you're doing on there and how many shirts they order. You know, it's a lot of different things that goes into the pricing. David says, how much do I charge for shipping? Right now, I don't print. I only print locally. I don't have it set up where I'm printing orders for people that don't live locally. So I don't really have a price that I'm charging for shipping right now. Antonio says, opening up my shop. That's good, Antonio. Keep me updated. Let me know how everything goes for you. What's up, Grace? Grace Graphic Solutions. The Vastec is okay. I purchased it, and it's an okay press. I just didn't really like the customer service, and I've had a couple of issues. I actually have a 6-color press, but I'm unable to use one of the heads on there. But when I first got it, it was an issue with it, and Vastec didn't do enough to try to solve it. I felt like because I had just got the press, they should have been like, well, send it in. Even if I would have had to pay for the shipping and handling, they should have had me to send it in and try to fix it, or send me a new one or whatever. But I didn't really like their customer service. Kingston said he watched my 500 500 under video, start a t-shirt business for 500 or less, and it was helpful. I'm glad I was able to help you. And if you can, as you know, once you start printing with those presses, like I was saying in the video, that's kind of to get you started, you know. And once you get started making money, be putting you back some money for a press, because those presses, and you can, hopefully you have ordered one that you have additional warranty on, because those are like the made in China presses, like I was saying in the video. And I wouldn't want you to have any issues in the middle of an order or anything. So, go ahead and be saving up for a press. I feel like that'll be the first thing that you should try to do, is upgrade your press. Let me see. David I cannot pronounce that. Vitivsky says, you think it's okay to have a small shop or work from home? With me, I feel like having a shop benefits me more, and the price that I'm paying for the shop is really cheap, $300. You're not gonna find nothing. And not that this is the nicest shop or nothing like that. It's actually a small building, but I think that's pretty cheap to pay. And having a shop when you're first starting out, can be a good thing or a bad thing. Because here's the thing: when you have a shop, you actually I have to pay the $300 rent. I have the internet bill over here. I have the water bill over here. So and I have the electric bill over here. I almost forgot about that. So I got 4 bills that I'm having to pay before I can actually make money. So, as long as you are able to, if you are able to afford to pay for all of those bills and still make a profit off of it, then I would say go ahead and get you a shop. But if I was at home, and I had my shop at home, I wouldn't have to worry about paying double internet, because I have internet at home. I wouldn't have to worry about paying double water or double whatever bills that I'm paying, because I already be paying it for my house. And when you have a separate shop, you're having to pay double. So it kind of depends. I feel like having a shop will get more people coming in, will get you more walk-ins and more traffic. Especially if you're in a good area, because if you're in a bad area, sometimes that can be the same as having it at your house or something like that. But I feel like having a shop can be beneficial. But if you can't afford to pay everything and make a profit off of it, then maybe you should wait on that. Lou Richard says Conde and Coastal Business have videos on printing socks, so you can probably check that out, Kingston. All right, Kingston, you can leave your information. If you can send it to me as like a personal message on here, because if you leave it on here during the live stream, once the live stream goes off, I won't have it anymore. So if you can do that, send it as a personal message on here, and I'll contact you back. Scooby-Doo says the best thing to do for socks is to stretch them first before putting them on the jig. It helps the ink get between the grooves in the socks so that it looks okay. And Kingston wants everybody to add him. Rizzy Ramos says it's easy to start this kind of business. You just have to have discipline and sacrifices. Start out slow, buy a heat press and a plotter. That's true. Nothing will help more than education in this industry. That's true. And even though I've been printing t-shirts for a while now, I still go on here and watch other people who print shirts, and and I'm always trying to learn something about printing shirts, because the same thing that I'm doing, it may be people that do it in a different way, so you can always learn something. And the learning thing is something that I guess did a lot of by starting out with the cheaper presses and stuff like that. You had to be kind of creative. Like when I had the Ryan silver press, I was able to print multiple colors, and it don't have like a micro registration setup on there. So I learned how to register the screens without that setup. So you learn a lot starting out with the cheaper things, and then if you start out with the best, then we kind of get spoiled when we start out with the best thing, and then when we have to deal with little issues and stuff like that, we actually gotta think about it. But when you start out with pretty much the basic, and you gotta figure out and be creative on doing extra things with it, by the time you upgrade and get a bigger press, it won't be nothing. If you come up with some little issues, you'll be able to figure it out. Yep, Reezy, we all pretty much started out with the heat press, and that's the way that I recommend, because when you first start, you're not gonna, well, maybe some people would, but you're not gonna have the huge orders. Like when I first started out, I was doing pretty good, but I wasn't getting huge orders. My stuff was mostly like, personalized stuff. Like they would come here and they would want different things, like a shirt. They might want 5 shirts, or, they wasn't wanting like big orders. So I recommend starting out, with the heat press and the vinyl cutter. The six color, the heat press that I have, I believe it starts off at about $25 to $3,000, depending on where you get it from. And then, like, if you get extras, like if y'all look at my press, it's got the pan at the bottom. That was extra. It's got wheels on it. That was extra. I got the HD heads on it. That was extra. So, it just depends on, how much extras you add on to it, or upgrades. Let me see. I'm getting a lot of comments on here, and it's hard to keep up. Let me see. Jason says printing is all variables. That's it. Figure out the variables to get the skill, and you'll be fine. Don't take a little time. Oh, might take a little time and heartbreaking headaches, but it's not rocket science. That's right. You'll have little issues. You just have to kind of learn how to deal with them along the way. Let me see. Yeah, and Reese said when you get a chance to upgrade, do it. That's a good idea. Start out. You might have to start out little. Antonio say, I just found out that Walmart sells heat presses. That's funny. I'm gonna have to go look on there, because I think you messing with me. Yeah, Jason also started with that round silver press. I mean, it got the job done. It was okay. Reese says upgrades are a sign of growth. I agree with that. Reese also started out with a 1-to-1 round tabletop press. Yeah, the one I started out with, it was a clamp-on press, and I actually have a video of it on here if y'all want to check it out. It's called The Cheapest Way to Print T-Shirts, something like that. How to print t-shirts really cheap. Rizzy said I was printing 6-color shirts with a heat gun. Yeah, things do get a lot easier when you upgrade, but when when you first start out, you learn a lot starting out with the basics. Yeah, Teresa says working from home was the best thing for her starting out for now. Yeah, I think everybody pretty much start out kind of doing it at home, especially with the vinyl. But once you get into the screen printing, you're not gonna unless you have like a big area, a big garage and stuff like that. Cause I didn't have a area. I was actually living in an apartment at the time, and I just had the heat press and I had everything set up. Let me see. Stan Banks asked, how many shirts do I average a month? I would have to go back and look to tell you the correct answer for that. I mean, that's not really just something that I look into. Um, Basically, what I do is when I print the shirts, sometimes the pricing is different depending on how many shirts they print. But to be honest with you, would have to go back. And some months I print like way more than other months. Like once football season starts, that's one of my busy times. So to be honest with you, I can't tell you the average. Can anybody else on here say the average number of shirts that they print per month? Because to be honest with you, I can't tell you. I would have to go back and look. Let me see. Rizzy says, I figured overhead wasn't necessary until we get to a comfortable point. Tease Your Way says, what's wrong with a U-Do? From what I have seen with the U-Do, it comes, and I actually have my U-Do over here that I used to use for an exposure unit until I was able to upgrade. But it comes with that one platen that you put the shirt on, and then you have to dry the shirt so that you can take it off of there. And it only comes with that one unless you buy a whole lot of individual ones. I mean, it's okay if you're starting out just to try to see, get the technique down and get the hang of it. But as far as trying to start a business with the U-Do, unless you're gonna buy a lot of the different platens, I think it will kind of be a slow progress or process or whatever. Teresa said, you don't need to pay anyone to learn this business. To advance your business, yes. Starting out, no. People like TshirtChick gives us all the tools you need. Connect with people here. That's right. I have never paid anybody to learn how to do learn how to print T-shirts. That's just something. That's just something that I learned how to do on my own. I mean, I watch videos on here. I've never been in the back of an actual T-shirt printing shop. I've been in the front of a few of them, but I have never been back there and seen the process. I learned everything from YouTube. So what I ended up doing was, I started off with the vinyl and the heat transfers, and then I was like, it's got to be something easier when I started getting bigger orders. So once that happened, I did a little bit more research, but everything is online. And I'm telling you, even if you're not into doing the T-shirts, anything you want to learn how to do, whether it's something good or something bad, you can go online and learn step by step how to do it. And then the next thing would be to, once you learn how to do it, you got to put in work and get better at it, and do a little trial and error to perfect everything. But that's basically, you don't have to pay anybody. I never pay anybody anything. And connecting with people. That's why if I can't answer a question, I'll ask the people on here, because it may be so I may decide to get into sublimation. And since I've never done sublimation, y'all could help me out with that. I try to help y'all the best I can with everything that y'all ask. So if y'all, if I need a question answered or have a question about something, like y'all may have different equipment than what I have, but I may be looking into getting something that you have. So, that's kind of like what I want to do, is like kind of make this a community. I mean, I'm here to help people, but I don't know everything. So that's why if I don't know the answer to a question or don't have experience in a certain thing, I always say, does anybody on here, I always ask, and people can respond or tell their experiences or whatever. Rizzy Ramos says, guys, buy a tabletop 2-to-1 or whatever you can afford. Don't buy U-Doos, LOL. Yeah, the only thing I ever used my U-Do for was an exposure unit, because when I first started out and I couldn't afford an exposure unit, then I tried using the work lights, but it wasn't consistent enough. So I saw somebody else on here, actually on YouTube, that was talking about using the U-Do as an exposure unit. So I found one and I purchased it. It was a local guy that had one, and I bought it from him. And after that, burning screens was simple and easy. Yeah, because with that work light, I used to burn screens and have issues and have to reburn them. I mean, it was kind of hard on me during that time and stressful. If with somebody trying to burn the screens and you can't even get the screens burned, a lot of times it gets you real frustrated, and it could cause you to give up. But if you get something like the U-Do, and a lot of people are selling them for cheap, like you can probably find one on Craigslist or eBay or somewhere like that. And maybe some other places you can find it too. Even garage sales, your local classified stuff like that. But that helped me out a lot. Once I got that U-Do, every screen that I burned worked. I wasn't messing up a lot of screens and having to redo it. So if you're gonna get a U-Do, that's what I would recommend that you use it for. Yeah, Reezy said, I see them all the time in secondhand stores up here. That that's something to look into. And y'all be sure to hit Jason up for the screens. Yeah, Reezy says education, education, education. Yeah, you can't never stop learning. I don't care what you do. People are always looking. Just like I remember when the cell phones first came out with the camera phone, where you could take the pictures. and then it came out with the video phone. And like now, we have moved way above that. So it's always somebody continuing to, to upgrade and make things better. So don't ever stop learning. Always continue, even if you think you know everything. But I feel like that's where people fail, when they get to a point where they think they know everything, because nobody knows everything, because it's always, and it's a train coming through. It's always a person that's taking what these people know and adding to it. So you will never know everything, and never stop learning if you want to continue to be successful. T-Your Way says, I see some screen printing 4 colors for under 500. I need to go ahead and get on that video and try to kind of show you guys some screen printing ideas. I was with the under $500 starting out with the heat press. I was going to do a middle one, but I didn't get as many likes as I was expecting. So I was thinking, well, maybe, this is just, this answered all the questions and got what they wanted. But I was going to do like a mid-grade and a high grade. Like the mid-grade is kind of the way I started out, with the 15-inch cutter by rolling and the 15-inch heat press. So I was going to do that and kind of show my equipment and stuff like that. But when I didn't get the response on that video that I was expecting, I was like, well, maybe this was what they wanted. A lot of people probably wasn't wanting to spend that much money. So I just kind of stopped it there. But as far as the screen print, I will go ahead and try to get on that video. Maybe I can get it filmed within the next few weeks. Imagination Apparel, what's up? Power is in the ability to mastermind. I agree with that. Let me see. Whew. I was reading. Okay, here it is. Jason says, I'm learning solvent-based and enamel-based ink printing on plastic and metal. Maybe UV inks when I can afford a UV dryer. Reezy Ramos says, you do equals do. I mean, it does work for a... He said, no, I got it and threw it away. It does work for an exposure unit. That's the only thing I'll be using it for. I was already screen printing before I got the UDO. But when I saw that video that someone posted on here, and it's been some years, that you can use it for an exposure unit. That was the purpose I bought it for. I still have a lot of the stuff that came with it. Some of the stuff I ended up throwing away, but I still have a few of the things. All right, Teresa, we'll be here to help you when you get ready to upgrade. Just hit me up on here. Jason says, I learn every day. If you don't, you're bound to fail soon. And I'm behind on these questions, on these comments. I try to read every comment and answer everything, that in case somebody has a question. I don't want to skip over it. Maybe I need to work on my reading. I might not be a good reader. I need to get hooked on phonics or something. Your Way says, what you think about white toner laser print, the Oki 920? I think it's a good idea, especially if you can print on the dark colors, because most people won't you know, they want the full color images on dark colors t-shirts or whatever, I think it's a good idea. I haven't really looked into it much. The Oki that I have, it's not a white toner printer. It's just the basic printer. I have an order. Antonio says, I have an order to do in plastisol transfers. I have never worked with the plastisol transfers. I just been screen printing, but that's something that I want to get into, is making my own plastisol transfers. All right, Teresa. I haven't watched Power. They say it's good, but I haven't watched it. And that sounds pretty good. Some banana cookie pudding. That sounds good. I'll see you next time, Teresa. Charles Ezenek says, I bought an exposure unit. Burning screens was my biggest problem. I highly recommend it. Saves a lot of problems. It does. I mean, once I got away from the from you trying to use that work light and started using the Udo as an exposure unit, it takes like 10 minutes to expose a screen, but that ended a whole bunch of my problems. I mean, I didn't really have any more problems after that. Antonio says, I hate having to outsource the design because I don't know how to screen print yet. Now, as far as screen print, it's not that hard. I mean, you just have to get you some equipment to learn on. Even if you know, whatever basic equipment you can get, and just kind of work on it and do a little trial and error. And it really looks a lot harder than it is in the videos, because it's a lot of steps into getting your screen ready. So it really does look harder than it really is once you get the hang of it. Rizzy Ramos says, anyone here use Corel Draw? No, I don't use Corel Draw. I use Adobe. Y'all excuse me for just a minute. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. What's up, CCR? Summer is going pretty good for me. This week I wasn't really in the shop, but it's been pretty good. And when I ended up working on Saturday this week, and a lady came in, so I should have a pretty good size order next week. She's supposed to come in Tuesday. Yeah, so everything is going pretty good so far. I'm so behind on these comments. Let me see. Charles Ezenek says he used Corel Draw. He just starting and he loves it. So if y'all are looking into a program, the most popular ones are the Corel and the Adobe programs. They do have a few free programs that you can use for different things. ZF High Graphics, maybe that's how you say it. It says, I need an exposure unit. What brands would you recommend? The exposure unit that I have is the most basic, the cheapest exposure unit that I could find, and it's the HBE, which is home-based equipment exposure unit. And the cheapest price that I found, actually after I purchased mine, was on eBay. And I mean, it gets the job done in like 5 minutes. It takes me about 5 minutes to expose a screen. And I use the Ulano QX1 emulsion, and it also works with that Rhinet. I think it's the WBP hybrid emulsion. It works with both of those, and it takes about 5 minutes on that. You know, your time may vary a little bit, you know, depending on your climate and temperature and everything. But that's pretty much, you know, the cheapest one I could find. If anybody else have any suggestions, you know, y'all can say them or post them on here. But that, you know, that's the basic one that I got. I mean, they have different companies offer them, and I know Vastex has one. I looked into theirs, but you know, I was just wanting something kind of cheap. Tease Your Way says, get a YouTube. That's what I started out with. I actually have a video. I have a couple of videos of it on here. Antonio says, I have the doo-doo. So he got the you-do too. He's silly. Z said, Ivan says, you can do DIY an exposure unit. A lot of people do it themselves, make their own. I'm not good at building stuff, so you know, I gotta find something I can afford when I can't get somebody else to build it for me. Yeah, for whatever programs y'all use, they have a lot of. Lou says, I use Corel Draw. No expert. Can't talk. No expert, but there are a lot of YouTube videos. They have a lot of YouTube videos for, you know, for a lot of different programs. So if you decide on a program, or if you're interested in one, you could go on, you know, go on YouTube, search it, kind of see what it's about. And some of them offer trial programs. So if you try one and see if you like it, you know, you can go online and learn how to do everything you need to do in it. Jason said it's easy to build your own exposure unit. I'm just not good at everything. If y'all saw my video when I built the washout booth, I couldn't even do that by myself. So I'm not good at building something unless it's a step-by-step and it's got the pictures and everything. I'm not good at stuff like that. Antonio wants to get into rhinestones. Anybody got any ideas or, you know, any information for Antonio about rhinestones? Let me see. Let me see. I'm looking for questions on here. I'm seeing a lot of the comments. Jason says his homemade unit works good, if not better than his Vastex. And Rizzy Ramos says he used the 2 halogen shop lights the 500-watt work lights, and they expose in 3 minutes. Maybe I should have tried 2. I only tried 1, and I was just starting out. I probably didn't really know what I was doing. Tease Your Way says TriStar's CAD Works Live is free. That's one of the programs you can use to design. Okay, ZFHI Graphics. I'm sorry. I think I pronounced it good last week, but I kind of messed it up this week. Female Hustle Inc. I like that. Yeah, Z, that for something inexpensive, that I think that the thing was about $300 and something. On eBay, I think it was like maybe $320. I think I might have paid like $350 for it. But it's that HBE, home-based equipment. That's the name of the company, HBE. And it says that it's I think 16 by 18, but I use the 20 by 24 screens on it, and my full 20 by 24 screens fit on there, and they don't hang over the edge. So, don't think that because it says, I think it says 18 by 20 or 16 by 18 or something like that in the title, but it is for the 20 by 24 screen, so your screen will not be hanging over the edge of it. It'll cover the whole screen. And Imagination Apparel said for rhinestones, check out TRW, the Rhinestone World. They have a YouTube channel. Smooth Girl says, will any cutter work with any software to design? Now, my vinyl cutter, I have the rolling 24-inch and the rolling GX 24, and I have the rolling, I think it's the SV 15, something like that. The 15-inch rolling and the 24-inch rolling. And I design all of my designs in Photoshop, and then I save them. You can also design them in Illustrator. In Illustrator, it actually has a plug-in for Illustrator. It may have one for Corel too. I'm not sure because I haven't never dealt with Corel, but you can design in Illustrator and cut out directly from Illustrator. And you can also design like in Photoshop and save it. I usually save it as like an oversized JPEG, and then I move it to Roll & Cut Studio. So, you can design in pretty much anything and move it over to the cutting program. But, I am unsure if any cutter, if every cutter works with every program. I would think you would need, I would think that most of them should come with whatever program that they use, or they should be specific and tell you, hey, you're going to have to get a program for it or whatever. But you can design it in anything. All you have to do is save it in the correct format, and you should be able to use it in with whatever program. Let me see. What do I do with my phone? Antonio Curry said, did I make sacrifices to get my equipment? At that time, I had another job, so I didn't really just have to make big sacrifices, but I did save up. Once I found what I wanted, I would save up and buy it. And at that time, I had just moved back home pretty much, and I was teaching. So, I was making, teachers always say they don't make that much money, but, teachers make pretty decent money. I was able to do everything I wanted to when I was teaching and get anything I wanted and do all the traveling, whatever, they make decent money. But anyway, the way that I did it is I found what I wanted, and then I bought one thing at a time. I first bought the heat press, then second I bought the vinyl cutter. So, I guess you could say I made sacrifices because I saved up, but, if you have decent credit, you can finance it and stuff like that. But I think it's better to buy your equipment, and that way you're not having to pay a monthly payment or however often payment on it. You actually own it. So say that you might buy some equipment for $1,000, and then after you have made $1,000 using that equipment, you have paid it off. But if you're on a monthly payment plan, they're adding interest to it usually. So you buy for $1,000, and you can make your money back quick. But if you started paying each month instead of going ahead and purchasing it all at once, you'll end up paying a little bit extra. All right. If anybody have any more questions, they can go ahead and ask them. If not, I'm gonna get ready to get off of here. Ivan Ramos says, can you use Laser One opaque transfer paper on the Epson inkjet printer? Laser One is actually for an inkjet. It's actually for a laser printer. But I have actually used inkjet transfer in the laser printer before, but I don't know. I'm gonna say I wouldn't recommend it because I'm not sure if it will work. The only thing I can say is try it and see. But those are actually for laser printers. So if you want something for inkjet, they got the Jet Opaque. That it's by Nina. Actually, the same company makes both of them. Nina, if that's how you pronounce it. How you doing, Gina? I'm getting ready to get off in a few minutes, so if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them. And another thing, I was thinking about kind of moving instead of starting at 4 o'clock, if I started like 3:30, I was thinking about that on Sundays from 3:30 to 4:30, because right now I'm doing from 4 to 5 Central Time. And if people still have questions, yeah, Jet Opaque, OPAQUE, laser jet. It's Jet Opaque. T. Joey says, I use Stretch Pro Opaque for Epson. That may be something you can look into. I've never used that one. That one may be a newer one, or maybe I just haven't heard of it. All right, if anybody else have any questions, go ahead and ask them, because I'm going to go ahead and get ready to end the session in a couple of minutes. Thank you guys for tuning in today. And there's another train coming through here. But thank y'all for tuning in. And I'll be doing this every Sunday, but I'm probably going to be doing it from 3:30 to 4:30 instead of from 4 to 5, just to get a little bit earlier start on it. Oh, Jason, you had Burger King today. Oh, yeah. You reminded me of, I need to ask about those emails back and forth that you and Scooby-Doo been doing. Yeah. You're welcome, Reezy. Thank you for watching, Tease. Okay, I see. That's all right, Scooby-Doo. You heard that question I asked, and you trying to jump off of here real quick. I'm just messing with you. Y'all, you and Jason been That question I asked you, trying to jump off of here real quick. What? I'm just messing with you. I accidentally went on my live stream on my phone somehow. I don't know. All right, Jason, I'm not going to say nothing else. But thank y'all for tuning in. Okay, what type of printer do I have? Do you have to have with a vinyl cutter? You don't have to. If you're using a vinyl cutter, you can just use the heat transfer vinyl, the HTV vinyl, and you can just cut it out and put it on there. All right, Scooby-Doo, y'all got a code going. Y'all do not tell. But thank you for watching, Lou. But Smooth Girl, if you have a vinyl cutter, you don't necessarily have to have the transfer paper, but they do have some vinyl cutters that can cut out images in the transfer paper. So I'm hoping that this answers your question. Like, it's what you use with the vinyl cutters. What you use with the vinyl cutters is actually, it's like a roll of vinyl. How you doing, Daryl Way? We getting ready to get off of here. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask, and I'll try to answer them for you. But we usually go from 4 to 5, and sometimes I run a little bit over. But starting next week, I'm gonna try to start at 3:30, from 3:30 to 4. All right, Jason. You and Scooby-Doo, y'all. I don't know what to say about y'all too. Scooby-Doo says she's a female. All right, if anybody else have any questions, y'all can go ahead and ask me, and I can try to answer for you. Jason, no. Jason, no. Jason, crazy. All right, Daryl Way, I'll see you next Sunday. 3:30 Central Time. All right, Jason, I'll see you next time. Later, Reezy. All right, I'll see you guys next week. And I'll be trying to post as many videos as I can this week. So y'all stay tuned for those also. And y'all be good and stay out of trouble. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.